tried this yesterday and I recorded 10 seconds. We had the best conversation, full of insights, the best tech tips and everything from these two, and I screwed it up. So we're back again. We're still at CFESA Conference at the Wigwam in Litchfield Park, Arizona. I'm joined by my old friend, Eric Holder from UNOX, and my recent friend from the last couple of years, LeRoy Fearon. And these guys are service managers, service directors. I don't know the titles, I can mess it up, so I'm gonna screw it up. But these guys are two of the best there is in the industry. They both were techs, they both got out of the field, they worked their way up, they still do technical stuff, and they're teaching the next generation of techs. It's really cool to see.
That's right.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's what I said.
Hey,
Did you rehearse that?
I had practice yesterday. So let's start with you, Eric. Let's give a background of your history, what you've done leading up to your current role.
Yeah, so been with UNOX for the whopping time of about 8 months now. So, but before then, been in the industry as a total of 35 years. Started more so with Smart Care. I ran my own business as well. And then ended up at Alto Sham for some years. From there with the smaller manufacturer, Marfarney, and now here I am with UNOX, and UNOX is a great company. I took the position as Director of Technical Services, and have an excellent team and a bright future ahead of me.
Yeah, we met years ago at a previous employer. You were a trainer, and I still remember that week. That was like one of the funnest weeks I ever had. You and Matt, shout out Matty Ice, shout out Matty Ice, USC fighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the best classes I had. You guys just had a blast feeding off each other. And if Matt got too dry and boring, you'd make sure you stuck your head in there and perked him up a little bit. So that was
you might have been in one of his first classes.
It probably was. It probably is. It was pretty early. So I ran into him last year a little bit, talked to him a little bit. I don't think he remembers me though. I should have brought up the UFC fighter. See what he said.
He would have known right away.
Yeah. So LeRoy, let's talk about your background. You were a tech. You worked for other companies, and you've been here for about 3 years now.
Just over 3 years now.
So what have you done that led up to UNOX?
Well, if you include my time in McDonald's, I was crew member to manager in McDonald's, 25 years in the industry. Left McDonald's and became a tech, fixed McDonald's equipment. And then, my aim was always to become a manager. I never really wanted to stay on the tools. It wasn't really my thing. My thing was always leadership. So I chose engineering and just carried on down that road. So then I came off the tools, and my last job was at Hobart, so that's quite a popular brand. Came off the tools, became a regional service manager at Winterhalter. Not a very big brand in the US, is it? No. But in Europe it's very big, dishwashers. And then really I was pretty much headhunted all the way up until I'm here now. So
nice. So you guys both, that's the great thing about you guys. You guys both have the in-field service experience to back it up. So you understand what us techs in the field are.
Absolutely.
And what we go through. I mean, a lot of times you talk to senior level managers in your roles, and they don't really know what it's like to be in the trenches and be in the field. And it's really cool to see that UNOX is putting people in place like yourselves that understands what the technicians go through on a day-to-day basis.
True. It's good.
Sweet. Yeah. So if you don't know, I met LeRoy through a side gig. I won't say it. I'll let him say it. But
I won't say on this show.
We'll do another one. We gotta have someone else on. We gotta do it then. So we're gonna have to do it on the weekend. But I really appreciate what LeRoy does at UNOX and outside of UNOX, and we'll get into that later. So I'm excited to talk to you about training because UNOX they've been in the United States side for a long time, but you guys have developed this training academy kind of based on what you guys do overseas. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so the Service Academy here is it's not fairly new, but it has been upgraded in the US. We now have the service lab, which butts up to our service office where tech support and customer service sits. In that room is outfitted so that we can bring in both the technology and the equipment that we need to train the techs. Now we have room for expansion, so that's up to come. But in addition to that, what people like is some of the new things that we're bringing through AR and VR. That's the exciting part. We want to start training and get people that are gamers and the likes thereof, show them that we can do things a lot differently within this industry for some who know and they've seen the automobile industry kind of use that, I stole the idea from looking at them. And I say, hey, that's cool, they can do it, we can do it too. So we're presently working with a firm that'll do that, so that if someone wants to look at a control board, if I'm up teaching or you're up teaching, you can throw that control board to them, they catch it, find it, feel it, take stuff off, the whole 9.
If you need testing done, let me know. I got some kids,
you
or
would
I
definitely-
could.
you would
Let me know.
definitely
Let
do
me know. I appreciate that. So, Denver, Colorado. So my boys are coming up next week or the week after. I gotta check and see, but they were disappointed. Not Denver, Colorado, Denver, North Carolina.
Okay.
So they said, hey, we're going to Denver to UNOX. I was like, UNOX isn't in Denver. They thought they were going to Denver, Colorado. It was Denver, North Carolina. So just north of Charlotte, right?
Yep. Right in the Charlotte area. North of Charlotte, like you said, but if you're gonna ski, it has to be on the water, and not in the snow.
There's some pretty cool lakes up there.
It is one of the best ever that they have there, Lake Norman. You can't afford to live on it, but you can have fun when you play on it. So
I drive by it every time because when I go down to CFESA and teach, I drive because I bring a lot of tools and stuff, and it's just a pain to fly with that stuff, and I don't want to lose it. So I drive down, you drive right through the middle of that lake. The interstate goes right through the middle.
Yep.
It's pretty cool to see. So
real cool. Well, LeRoy's going to be seeing it this week. He's actually coming to Denver.
So how long are you in town for then?
Just till the weekend.
Just so the weekend, could get no more out of them?
Work to do, man.
There's work to do here too. You don't want to go back home. I'm dreading that back home because I'm on the East Coast time, and I've just now got used to this time zone. And then I got to work Friday, and I fly back Thursday night. We get home like at 7 my time, but by the time I get home, it's gonna be like 9:30, 10. And I told my workers, like, do not promise my first AM call. I said, because I am not used to this West Coast, East Coast stuff.
So it's rough.
But actually, you mentioned Service Academy. One thing I think is important is that our Service Academy is global. So we sort of standardize things, which is one of the reasons I'm here now, so I can see what's going on over here and give some input and vice versa. And also our training's free, which is a very big thing because when I took over in the UK, most of the feedback was most people didn't like the brand, but that's because they didn't know how to fix it. So, you know, if we can give the training to people and give them the confidence to work on our brand, changes the perception.
Yeah, and I'm a big part of that. I always see guys on the internet talk about this brand's junk, this brand's junk, and my first thing I ask is, are you trained on it? Do you work on it?
Yes, sir.
The answer is always no. I'm like, so how do you can't form an opinion on something that you have no experience with. You're just throwing baseless accusations out there. And I'm a tech, not a poet, okay, or a writer. So you're just throwing baseless accusations out there and nothing to back it up, and you're bad-mouthing a company that's probably a pretty good company. And I've been guilty of it in the past, and it's taken me a long time to realize that you can't do that as an industry. There's a lot of good things out there that people just don't know about, and that's all it is. So
Your least favorite piece of equipment is something.
I don't work on it. And I don't badmouth it. It's like I just don't know. I don't work on it. So I'm sure if I worked on it all the time, I'd love it. I mean, I didn't love working on Frymaster touchscreen fryers, but now I love them.
You love it.
At first I was like, this thing's crazy overcomplicated. Now I'm like, I can just get in there and do whatever I want. People are like, you can do that? I'm like, oh yeah, you can do a lot more than that too. So UNOX is based out of Italy. So you said something about UNOX City now? It's like pretty much they got their own city, so much warehouses and stuff. So let's get into that a little bit, because you know, during COVID, UNOX kind of excelled and really came hard to the market in the US, and they had the capabilities of building their own parts, stockpiling their own stuff. And we were talking yesterday that, you know, UNOX partners with companies, and sometimes they invest in these companies or buy these companies and make these components for them. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that's correct, man. And it's good that you noticed it, actually, that it was around COVID when we really started advancing in the US. We had the stock, we had the inventory, and so we pushed that out. But when you talk about UNOX as a whole, you're right. There are like 13 or is it 11, to be correct, warehouses in Padua.
No, 100%.
In that ballpark.
So 11 to 13, 11 to 13. That's a good number though.
And they're all the size. You're talking about warehouses the size of what we have in Denver, North Carolina. But each one of them are as big, if not bigger, than that one facility. Now with UNOX City, we're in a little city called Padua. Guys haven't heard of it. It's right outside of Venice. In Padua, you'll go there, and in UNOX City, they have these 2 huge buildings. Just think of how it was when we went to Parkstown. Okay? Now, those buildings are like that, except there's actually boulevard that goes in between the two buildings. That's why we call it UNOX City. If anyone gets a chance, if you go online, you can see it on the UNOX website. You'll see the actual inauguration of opening that, which just happened about 4 weeks ago, I think it was.
Not even.
Yeah, maybe not even that.
I'll have to take a picture of it and throw it over the episode so show people what it is. I mean, it seems like you guys have a lot of sense of pride in it.
Yeah,
You know, what
it
they're
is.
doing over there.
It really is.
It's a pretty cool place. So.
And it's a lot of opportunity there too. So
Nice.
they do a lot for the community, and I'm all about that.
Yeah.
So your coverage zone is huge,
Northern Europe,
Northern Europe. So I mean, you're based out of the UK.
based out of the UK.
So you probably fly all the time, don't you?
These days, yeah. These days, yeah.
So what do you think about that? Do you enjoy going to meet people in other countries and other facilities and like?
I do. I find this pretty much, you know, we all speak the same language, so
Yes.
yeah. So this conference in particular is probably my first conference where everybody's in service.
Yeah, I was excited to see you and Justin and Macaulay, some of the other people come over as they're a great group of people and they've all given me a hard time and I love it. So I got broad-shoulders, I can take it. So what all is your role over there? It's training and other things. So do you have to go out and like problem service
Sometimes,
events
yeah.
and fix
Sometimes,
it?
yeah.
Or go out and smooth things over with customers that get kind of worked up over something and
Yeah.
whatever they ask of you pretty much?
Well, service manager, director, same
Yeah.
sort of thing. We wear many hats.
Yeah.
So we're helping support the techs, we're helping the office staff, the allocators, we have a service lab, we're helping that team. And then we're also helping our internal techs as well as the external ones, the service partners. So I spend time with the service partners.
Yeah, I see you post doing some installs and do some service work and stuff, and it's cool to see. And I can handle a job like that as long as I get a chance to still go out and do that. I think if I took a job where I couldn't do that, like I was like everything's hands off, I couldn't be involved, I'd probably lose my mind. So that'd probably be a good fit for me. I don't ever want to come completely out of the field, but there's gonna be a point in time where I have to, but I don't want to 100% come out. I want to be able to go out there and do some things. We have a director in USG that he still goes out and does like rooftop change outs and stuff. He's a director. Like,
Should do it.
it's like, I was like, this is awesome. I didn't realize he's a tech. I started talking to him here before the conference started, and he was giving me a hard time about something that happened. And I was like, so what'd you do before you came in the office? He goes, I was a 20-year tech. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. I was like, and you're in that role? I was like, there's hope for me yet.
So do you still like getting your hands dirty?
Oh, I love getting my hands dirty.
I don't miss that. What? You know what I love the diagnosis.
Yeah.
Somebody else can actually fix it. I love using my brain.
Yeah.
The brain side.
Yeah.
Keep my hands and nails, nice.
So my hands are out. They stay nice and oiled up and greased up. I love it.
Well, I remember when I was in McDonald's studying engineering, and I used to have to, if the fryer was broken, I would call one of the service engineers, and they used to come in. Most of them were old, dirty hands. That's one of the things I really noticed, and I was like, I didn't even see them as technicians. I didn't see them as engineers.
I wash my hands. I wear gloves. If anyone from work is watching, I wear gloves. But yeah, I can see that.
I was aspiring to be an engineer.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize them as an engineer until I saw there was one guy who came in to my store and it was a Taylor grill, was broken, and he was about in his 20s. And he was smartly dressed, just someone that I could see myself. And he opened the grill, the top of the grill, and I saw the belts and I saw the components in there. And I was like, oh look, there's a relay and there's solid state relay and stuff. And I was like, you guys are actually engineers. And it sort of dawned on me that I could probably do that job.
Yeah.
If I didn't see him, I probably wouldn't be sitting here.
See, one person is all it takes to change your life. Man.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. I came from the Navy, so I started. So in the Navy, if anybody who's watching you in the Navy, they'll know there's a division called Auxiliary Division. And Auxiliary Division is really called A Gang, for those of us who really know. So I really started in A Gang. But in A Gang, when you're on a ship, I could be working one moment, and then you're called, general quarters the next. So whether I'm firefighting or whatever my general quarters station is, you go do it. And so I'm listening to you, and I remember one thing that was really important for us is that when you get into muster station, you always want to look presentable, right? And so what we did as engineers there on the ship is we wore coveralls, and those coveralls, man, we can get as dirty as we want to get and stuff, but if we had to go and present ourselves in uniform, we just rip those off, and now here we are, standing uniform. So I took that same, the Navy taught me a lot of things from PM to everything else. Shout out to the United States Navy. But one of the things I brought was, I had that mentality too, that I wasn't always gonna just be turning wrenches. So one of the things I brought is that I always presented myself differently. And what I would do is work on a McDonald's fryer, I could be working on a Love fryer, I could be working on anything all night long, because we'll go and do the clamshells and stuff at night. And I would be at the office that next morning, and when I get to the office the next morning, people see me in my clean uniform, and I was such a Navy guy. My boots would be shiny too. That was just a must, right?
So you know Robert Harris, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So when I first started, I worked for Rusty hired me because he ran GCS in Indianapolis. He was a manager. He hired me. I came in and I worked with an older tech for a week. He went on vacation, and my second week of training was with Robert Harris, and he was like, he's a Marine. He's like, so you get your jib line or jib line. And he's like, he put that in. He like beat that into me. And it was pretty cool. But Robert was the same way. Like, you gotta look good. You gotta look the part.
You're thinking where you want to be. And so every time I stepped in there, Wes Tyler, shout out to Wes. He's the first person to kind of put me in a management position. And I think it had to do a lot with just how I would look. Not even as much as what I knew. There were plenty of people there that knew a lot more than me at the time. But it was how you present yourself. You talked about the different roles that we have to have now. Those were the same roles I found myself in even as a technician. I was the PR guy. I was the guy to go and clean it up. Call back, say, hey, I'm there, whatever it may be. I think the only requirement here at UNOX, and it probably should be just in this industry at all, the only real requirement you need to succeed is, I think everybody should have an MBA. That's my opinion. But the MBA is really a mop bucket attitude. So if you have a mop bucket attitude.
Okay, I like that one better. You scared me for a minute. I was like, I ain't going back to school. I barely made it out of high school.
Oh, no. It's a mop bucket attitude. That's 100%. If you got that, then you can succeed in this industry. And anything it takes, anything you gotta do, I don't care if it's the floor, you do it and you succeed.
Oh yeah, I've had guys I've been training older guys who've done this, but I'm training them on our processes and how we do things, and I'll get a mop and a broom, and why are you doing that? I'm like, I made the mess, man. It's not fair for me to clean it. Now if they come over and say, stop, we got it, it's a different story, but I'm gonna initiate that. That's my mess, I'm gonna start cleaning it. If they say, hey, we got it, don't worry about it, okay, that's a different story, but
that's it.
Hey, my mom doesn't work here, my wife doesn't work here. That's my mentality. So let's talk about what UNOX has out there. I mean, you guys told me a little bit yesterday about this thing you can talk to, an oven. What's up with that?
Yeah, ChefTop-X, but the master of it is right there.
Well, it seems like in our industry, combi ovens in particular, are developed in Europe, and then a couple of years later, America finally gets on board and embraces them, brings them over. So you probably got a little experience, a little bit.
Yeah, I've been working on it for a couple of years now. For me, I'll make a statement now. It's the best oven on the market.
Nice.
And I'm not saying that because I'm wearing this. That's a genuine. I would never say anything. We're techs. We say how it is. Even in the training sessions.
Yeah, I get trouble for that.
Oh God. We say how it is.
I've had to learn to look around the room for my mouth sometimes.
But I tell you now, it's the best oven on the market.
Nice.
I mean, when I'm doing training sessions, I'm now, we went from saying we've got this feature like a rationale, we have this feature like a combo foam. Now we're in the phase where those guys are training and they're bringing out new things, and it's like, the people in the class will be saying, like UNOX, UNOX has that, UNOX has this. So I think we have the ChefTop-X that you can talk to it, it can talk back.
Nice.
It can recognize food that you put in. It's all designed to limit the amount of touches to the control panel.
That's what you guys mentioned yesterday. This chef can have his profile, his whole cooking profile and everything on the cloud. He can go across the country, across the world, and he can put it in, sign in. It's going to bring his profiles, his settings, his techniques and practices into that oven anywhere he's at. So that's really cool for
Even the layout.
Yeah.
So, when you get a new phone, you just log in and it looks like your old phone. It'll be exactly the same.
Nice. So, I've worked on every combi oven under the sun. Just where I work is what I do. And I like the fact that your guys' oven isn't as wide as everybody else's.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's maybe because it's European based, and that's well, everyone else is too though. But everything's kind of in the back. You got your control board on the doors, your touchscreen on the door, but everything's in the back. You don't have to worry about heat sources on the side. You shouldn't have a heat source directly next to it, but I mean, you don't. It's not. It's not like everybody else may freak out. But yeah, everything's in the back, and it seems it's not too bad to work on really. Everything's back there. You can get to everything. You can test everything. Take that one panel off, and generally everything's right there. My thing is I always screw up and take the fan pull the fan screws out. So then the fan falls, and I get the fan back in every single time. I always forget it gets moved, but yeah, everything's in the back. It's right there. It's easy to test, diagnose, and I mean I don't have a problem working on them.
But do you find most of the installations have wheels or casters?
It's about 50-50. If it's a school, it has casters.
Yeah.
Most time restaurants, it's either on the table or on, something like that. But most time schools are on casters. There was a school system south of Indianapolis, and they put in one summer. They put in I think like 12 to 14 of them. I was installing like 2 sets a day by myself.
Wow.
I just begging them out because it's 2 hours away. So I got that mentality. I'm gonna go down there and do as much as I can and come back. So I was going out there and your guys' installs electric's straightforward, easy.
Straightforward.
The gas one kind of gives me a little fits because I always forget about the insulation around the flue pipes and stuff. But I got that figured out now. So
I think you do need to think about the serviceability when you're installing it.
yeah.
I think a lot of people just install things and then they don't think about when something goes wrong, which everything goes wrong eventually. So do you have that problem over here?
I mean, we do, but it's the one thing that we're working on, and it's also a thing that Italy is working with us on. So any new design, and even this morning when we were talking, didn't realize that this morning that you had a lot of input with the serviceability of even some of the current designs that are out in the market right now, not even including ChefTop-X and so forth. So whenever we go on a new design, serviceability is a key component of the design outside of the operation of it and everything else. How or is it able to be serviced is going to be one of the key factors of how it's designed. So.
Yeah, I mean on the service tech side, we go to kitchens all the time. You walk in, you're like, how is this in here? Because if there's space, they're gonna put something there. It's not designed to be that way.
Absolutely.
You go in, half of a piece of equipment's hanging out the hood. I'm like, you're supposed to be 6 inches into the hood. I'm like, how did this get through fire doors? How did this pass? But there's a gas line there, so hook it up. I'm like, well, that gas line was designed for 500,000 BTUs, and now we have 1.5 million BTUs on there. So it's like, how's this gonna work? I'm like, but people don't understand. But I like your guys' footprint. It's narrower. It seems like it's more compact. It's it's more friendly for the kitchen.
Yeah. And these guys are designing it, these dealers and consultants alike. When they design it, they're giving us about no space. So you have to think of that too. Yeah. As much as we complain about it as techs in this industry, the reality is that if we don't make it an item that can fit into to tight connections, then we'll lose that sale.
Oh yeah.
That's the reality of it. So when you go into it, I know everybody, this thing is right next to this, it's right next to this,
It's not your fault.
Right.
Like, we make something fits there, they do it there.
They
So
got it.
I get it, I understand.
Business for me, business for you, and in this industry, we usually adapt, adjust, and overcome, and that's what we do.
Your guys' ovens are easy enough to move out too, though.
Absolutely.
They don't weigh that. They're not. I mean, some of these ovens, you get a double stack ovens, it's like 1,500 pounds.
Yeah.
They come pre-stacked. You can't even stack them on the field. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So your guys' ovens, they're pretty easy to move around. Don't have a whole ton of stuff, hanging attached to the back. I enjoy working on them. They're not too hard to work on. At first I was mad, and then I did some training. I think who did your training?
Michael Wood.
Yeah, he came out and did training a couple of years ago before a big rollout you guys had, and we've done work for that. And then, like I said, we've installed a bunch of some schools, and the schools do pretty well.
Yeah, they do.
But schools, anything is one of schools.
Yeah.
The lunch ladies take care of stuff. It ain't like a restaurant where they just beat on it, abuse it, and that kind of stuff. So it does really well at schools. It does well everywhere. So I enjoy working on them. But yeah, that compactness really sticks out. It's not, you can get a full size oven. It's not, everyone else has got 8, 12, 14 inches.
Yeah.
Some of them you're like, how did we get this in the building?
Yeah.
I've taken door frames out.
Windows.
I've taken doors, opened them up, taken control panels, and pulled off the front of the oven so I could twist it in there. And such a headache. And I don't have that problem with you guys. I get just about anywhere.
I'll tell you what though, speaking of serviceability, I think we need to tell whoever's listening about our partner hub app.
Yeah.
That-
How did we miss that yesterday? Good
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
See,
yeah,
see,
yeah,
we
yeah,
need to come back today.
There you go. He's warming up.
I'm on
Go ahead.
yeah, the Partner Hub app is I've lost words. It's so good.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, if you seen it yourself?
No, I have not. I'm about to download
Okay,
it.
so download the Partner Hub app by UNOX. Yeah.
What's all on there? You got part numbers. You have manuals.
It's like your Bible
Okay.
for UNOX, and it's growing and growing. We're
Okay.
developing new things. The key thing for technicians is you got your 3D diagram. So
Mhm.
instead of having the parts list, we have an actual 3D model,
Nice.
which you can interact with. You can just select an item,
And
the
bring
part
it up.
number comes up. And some items even shows you how to fit the item on the video.
Really?
Yeah, and the video is like has a color codes.
Mhm.
So like yellow is retain the part,
Mhm.
red discard, green brand new. So
Nice.
if it's green in the video, you don't have it in your box. At least you can say I should have had this, and
Yeah.
you can raise some sort of ticket with us.
Yeah, I know you know, we talked a little bit yesterday about the videos. Like you guys are doing a lot of videos on how
Yeah.
to service and how to diagnose some things. That's really cool to see. We know the younger generation of techs really gravitate towards technology because they've grown up with it. I'm 43, so I've kind of adopted it in the 20s. It's kind of just grown as we go. But those younger techs, they got it figured out on their phone, tablets, that kind of stuff. And to see videos out there, now I will say, you're going to have some customers who'll be like, your guy was out here staring at his phone on YouTube.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the bad
Yeah,
thing.
but what's on the phone? Or
Yeah.
sharing the phone?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's getting the information from the
Exactly.
source,
I've
so
done
it's
that.
going to be right, and it's going to help diagnose the other. But man, you can't ever win with customers, man.
I've been on the phone and I've heard the customer say, "I'd rather have him on the phone."
Right,
Yeah, you
right,
know?
right.
So I'd rather have him in here than you. You know?
Yeah, my son, try working with your son. So both my sons work with me, and they're young, so and customers, they just beat up young people, man.
Yeah.
They think they don't know what's going on. And my son's actually, by the numbers, the best tech we have in our branch, just because I get stuck on callback and all other stuff, and we can get that later. But he's the best tech by numbers, and customers just beat him up because he's like 22 years old, 23 years old, and they're like, this kid was here, and I always want to be like, I always want to take it personal because it's my son, man.
Right,
You know how it is. You have kids. It's just like I can't do that, so I got to kind of separate that. But some days, man, it's like if I wasn't on the clock, I'd just strangle you right now. But no, he does good. So, but yeah, I'm excited for him to go down and training.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we stuck him on some calls. He's like, I don't know anything about these. I was like, well, let's call me. I'll walk you through it, or call the factory. So
Yeah.
they're good people there. They get great people on the phones, and they'll help you out any way they can. So.
Did you push them into the industry, or did they?
No, I did not want. My youngest always wanted to do it. He's 19. When I'd go cleaning my vans on the weekend, go into the shop and clean my van out, he'd go with me and he'd run up down inside the van because he was small and he'd put stuff on the shelf for me, so I'd have to crawl around and get my big butt.
Nice, nice.
My oldest though, he wanted to get a business degree. He didn't know what in, and he was a jock. He was a stud football player. And during COVID, he didn't get the chance to do his college business and stuff. It was all virtual, and he's lost interest in it. So he graduated, and he did a year work for a city on the street department because his grandmother worked in the city, and he didn't know what he wanted to do. And then one day he's like, "Hey, is your work hiring?" And I said, "Yeah, we're always hiring." I said, "You got somebody in mind?" He goes, "Me." And I said, "No, you're not." He said, "I'm gonna do it anyways." It's like, "No, you're not." So he did it, and he took that sports mentality of "you're not gonna beat me" and applied it to this, and he's taken off, man.
That's awesome.
He's
That's
taken
awesome.
off. So I'm proud of him. My youngest,
story.
he's a little different learner, and he's catching on. He's doing good. So I'm proud of both of them. They're both doing really well in the industry, and on par to make some money and have some fun. It looks like.
Good, good, good. Is he a gamer?
Yeah.
That's my type guy.
Yeah, he's right. I'm not sure what he's playing right now. He cycles around. He'll probably jump back on Call of Duty when it comes out. Youngest one plays Battlefield, so they don't play.
Nice.
They don't play against each other. So
All right.
that's good there. But yeah, so I'm excited for him to go and have some fun, get away from me for a little bit, and it'll do some good to learn from other people. I've noticed that I train techs all the time. We have new hires that come in, and it's weird with your own kids. And people always tell me your kids haven't made. I'm like, no, they don't. Well, what do you mean? He goes, I will cuss them out in a heartbeat. I can't do it to you guys. I said, what are they gonna do? Go home and tell their mom? So, but
I will get them. But it's funny you're talking about that. And one thing I noticed, I'm sitting out just last month and really just looking at who we have, by way of generation that's coming up. And there's a lot of people that I don't care how we make this look, it's just never going to be sexy enough for them to want to come into this industry. But I started looking in particular because of my son, in my nephews in particular, and even now I have grandchildren now, and they're small, and watch them even what they do from a young age. They're just in the games, and I'm like, you know, as much as it gets under my skin, I start thinking, man, I want to be able to take that generation and make them a part of what we do. And that doesn't mean necessarily fixing, but maybe our call center looks different by putting them in there and giving them the tools to help the guys who want to be in the field even better. So that's why I was asking, is it that? Because I think there's a whole thing that I don't have yet, but I'm definitely focusing on it to bring them into the industry and help continually develop this into something different. So when there's a LeRoy out there that doesn't want to do this and sees that it actually is something he does, he can become LeRoy in Times Square.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
I just want to kind of elaborate because that's a great point. We hear a lot of people saying about we need to get a young generation in. But I seem to hear more about schools, young, really young. What about your version of college, our university? We kind of don't think about those guys. Because maybe we feel like they wouldn't want to. But I was in university. And I wasn't someone who wanted to get my hands dirty. So what I think we need to do as an industry is we need to do what you're doing, is having different faces, different profiles. We need more influencers.
I try to get my son to do it. I'm like, dude, because when he was in high school, he had like 1 million followers on TikTok, so just doing dumb stuff, and he shut it all down once he graduated. I'm like, dude, you could probably make some money on the side. I was like, you're a young, good-looking kid, you're smart, you know how to work the algorithms and stuff. Make some content, dude. He don't want nothing to do with that. He's like, I did it when I was younger. I don't want to do it now.
But people need to see themselves in other people. And if you can't, then you wouldn't want to.
That's a good point. We need people to show in the industry, and it's hard because you don't want to get in trouble. I mean, you don't want to show the bad side because we've all been in restaurants. We all know that some of this place is like, all right, how are you open? And then add the aspect that everything's branded. Napkins are stamped, embossed. Boxes, fried containers. I mean, you show a red fry container, you don't have to show the golden arches, everyone knows where you're at. You just show the container inside of it. I'm like, oh, that's McDonald's. I mean, I recognize restaurants by the floor tile. They've been doing it so long.
That's a fact.
And but you don't want to show the bad, because if that person sees it, then they're going to find your boss and that kind of stuff. So you got to be really cognizant and careful what you show. And I've got tons of footage where I started recording and it's like a bunch of something embossed or all kinds of stuff in the background. And nothing's bad. I just don't want to run that chance. So you got to be careful what you do.
But Pat, do you think we need to show them exactly what we do, or do you think we need to show them who we are?
I think both. I think show them who we are as people, but we got to show what we do as well too, to kind of get that interest and that peak. I mean, it's a cool job. You do a lot of cool stuff. Now, like you said, you didn't want to turn riches forever, but you used your time in the field to get to where you are now.
My aim was always, I always wanted to be I wanted a big high profile job within.
Well, you get a big high profile poster on Times Square.
Well, there you go. You try to get away.
I got you. It was sitting there. If you don't know, he was named one of the top 50 leaders. He has a picture on one of those big billboards on Times Square. It was pretty cool to see, man. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of what you're doing, and I'm proud of you too. You guys are killing it. Anything? What's next for UNOX? Anything you guys talk about? What's coming, or what you guys want to talk about as far as training opportunities or things like that?
I don't know. I mean, for us, the focus is training right now. That's the big focus going into 2026 and for the remainder of the year. Let's get the market trained. We're doing it. We hired 3 full-time trainers now, so that's a big investment.
Because he was like everywhere.
Absolutely.
He was just chasing ovens around the country. That's all he was doing, was chasing ovens around
And
the
this is
country.
a different model, coming from a model where we brought every regional was a training for us, For this company, it wasn't quite the same way. So getting Mike from being the one source that goes around, now putting 2 more resources under him is going to allow us to reach people like never before, essentially. And then we'll show off, if you will, some of the new and exciting things that we have.
Nice.
So we won't pull the curtain all the way back right now.
Just give a little tease on we need.
That's it.
So what do you look forward to growing your market up there? Do you look forward just to training? I know, tell people you trained the last couple of years, because that's a pretty good number.
500.
So 500.
More than 500.
More than 500
We got a
technicians.
session today. Jacked.
More than 500 technicians in the last couple of years over there, and that's amazing. That's great numbers. That really speaks volumes of what UNOX believes in their product and believes in the technicians and the end users.
And the thing is, one thing we do is we always ask people around the table, what do you think of UNOX? What do you think of the ovens? And we tell them to be honest.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I don't like this and I don't like that. That's what you hear most of the time. And then at the end of the session, we ask them again.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, wow.
There's only one thing I don't like doing, that's dealing with gas.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got big hands, you got sticking up, it ain't fun with my big hands.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah,
Right?
I get it.
And actually for you coming from this market, as I do as well, this is the first thing I noticed when I went to Italy. I said, this has to get better.
Yeah, well, see, I've never really interacted with anybody from like Europe, and I was like, man, that's got the smaller hands. Like, there he is in there.
That's it.
It's like, no wonder.
Cramping and all that other stuff.
I had a store that had their hood cleaned, and they called it, so their oven was down with heat. I was like, so, it was part of the program where we take the parts, so I went out there on a Saturday morning, and I turn it on, and I hear it gurgle. I was like, what the heck? And the hood guys put their toes in the top of it because they thought it was a drain, and it's the fluid. It's filled up with water. So I drained it, and put it back together, and it fired right up, dried itself up, and it ran perfect. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But I heard the gurgle. I was like, what in the world is that? Why is it doing that? And yep, sure enough, they got me. So, anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, not me.
Man, I appreciate you guys coming on, Eric. It's probably been 15 years, maybe. I appreciate what you do for the industry. You are a wealth of knowledge. You're always got a smile on your face. You're always happy to talk to people. You're always happy to show off what you're doing now. And I'm really excited to see what you're going to do with UNOX in America.
I can't wait, man.
LeRoy,
Good hands, they're in good hands.
I really appreciate what you do. We'll talk about the other side of you on another episode because we're talking about UNOX today. We don't want to. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. But some of you may recognize this guy from somewhere else. But I really like what you're doing as far as out of UNOX, and I was so proud to see you. You got named top 50, and then to see you on that billboard was awesome. That was cool.
Very cool.
So, all right, have a good day, guys.
Hey, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Nice one, man.
Thanks, man.
All right.